Stop scrolling right now, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think really happened, and share this story with every fan you know, because what you are about to hear is the confession nobody ever expected, the reason Miles Wei stayed distant from Shen Yue for years, and the quiet promise that shaped everything behind the scenes. Fans whispered. Rumors multiplied. Glances were analyzed. Silences became theories. Every award show where they stood apart. Every interview where names were carefully avoided. Every moment when schedules never seemed to overlap. People asked the same question again and again. What really happened between Miles Wei and Shen Yue? Tonight the speculation ends. Because Miles finally spoke. Not in front of flashing cameras. Not on a brightly lit stage, but in a quiet room with a single recorder on the table and a voice that carried far more weight than headlines ever could. Those present said he hesitated before beginning. He folded his hands, looked down, exhaled slowly, and then said something that changed the way everyone in that room would see the past. I did not stay away because I was angry. I stayed away because I was afraid. That sentence landed heavy. Miles explained that years ago, when both of them were still climbing, still navigating long shoots and unpredictable schedules, he made a promise to someone he trusted deeply. A promise not written, not public, not dramatic, but binding in the way only private vows can be. At the time, Shen Yue was receiving attention from every direction. Offers. Rumors. Expectations. The pressure was relentless. Miles said he noticed something others missed. The way she paused before answering certain questions. The careful way she redirected conversations. The exhaustion she tried to hide with humor. He worried that being publicly close to her would intensify everything. That speculation would grow louder. That narratives would harden. That mistakes would be magnified. So he chose distance. Not coldness. Distance. He described stepping back during events. Turning down joint appearances. Keeping conversations brief in public spaces. All while watching from a safe margin. He admitted it was misunderstood. He knew people thought something had gone wrong. He knew it looked personal. He let that version of the story exist. Because correcting it would require revealing hers. And he refused to do that. Miles paused often while speaking, as if measuring every word even now. He said there was a moment early on when he almost broke that silence. An award ceremony. Crowds pressing in. Cameras everywhere. Shen Yue had just finished a demanding project and looked worn despite her smile. He wanted to step closer. To offer something steady. But he remembered the promise. So he stayed back. And that restraint hurt more than people realized. The interviewer asked what promise he meant. Miles closed his eyes for a second before answering. To protect her future, even if it meant becoming a rumor myself. He explained that a senior figure in the industry once warned him about how quickly public pairings could spiral. How narratives could become cages. How careers could be redirected by stories neither person intended to tell. Miles took that warning seriously. He believed the safest thing was to become invisible in her orbit. Let the spotlight shift. Let attention settle elsewhere. Let her work speak for itself. There were nights, he said, when he regretted that choice. When he wondered if silence was truly helping. When he replayed conversations in his head. When he thought about reaching out just to check in. But every time he hesitated. Because breaking distance publicly could undo months of careful positioning. Years passed. Fans kept guessing. Media wrote their own explanations. Miles stayed quiet. Shen Yue never commented. And the distance became part of their shared myth. Then came the turning point. A private conversation not long ago. No audience. No microphones. Just honesty. Miles said he finally told her everything. The promise. The fear. The calculations. The years of restraint. He expected surprise. Maybe frustration. Maybe disbelief. What he did not expect was her reaction. She listened without interrupting. Then nodded slowly. And said, "I wondered if it was something like that." That response stunned him. She had felt the gap. But she never assumed cruelty. She assumed caution. They spoke for a long time that night. About how silence can become its own story. About how protection sometimes looks like rejection. About how heavy it is to carry decisions no one understands. Miles admitted that conversation was the first time in years he felt lighter. As if a locked door had finally been opened. He said he does not regret trying to shield her. But he does regret how lonely it became. How carefully he had to navigate every public space. How he learned to stand in corners instead of beside someone he respected. As he finished, the room stayed quiet. No one rushed to speak. Because it was clear this was not a tale of rivalry. It was a story of restraint. Of fear disguised as distance. Of loyalty that never asked for recognition. Miles ended with one final thought. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is the thing that makes you look unkind. If this confession surprised you, if it changed how you see those old moments, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think about Miles' choice, and share this with every fan who thought they already knew the truth. Because some sacrifices are invisible. Until someone finally speaks.